Hey guys, I wanted to make a video response for Jacob, Awaken Safely. You and I, Jacob, have both kind of done the same thing where we've kind of, we hit crisis and we took time to kind of figure out what is really happening, where the crisis really lies, trying to maybe chop our way through Armageddon propaganda and any persons that might use that fear to, for their own personal interests. And we've come back here. We're ready for a conversation. I'm with you on that. I think that, well, an interesting point that I'd like to bring up is that the world that we live in today, compared to the last time, I guess last time you made a video, or the last time I was making videos, 2009 was different than it is now. A lot of things have changed. The proverbial shit has hit the fan in a lot of people's lives, and it's caused them to have to kind of re-evaluate what's important, what's not. And I think that that's a good thing. I think it's a coming-of-age crisis, if you will. And I think also some of the technologies have advanced as they have been, and have opened up new possibilities, new potentials. I think that with technological advances that we should have as a spiritual, moral advances as well to go hand in hand with that. It's one thing to split the atom, but how that atom is used once it's split is a completely different thing. And if we live in a selfish, fearful world, when you split that atom, you fear that your neighbor will split that atom and use it against you, so you use it against him first. I think that as we start to get into the biological, a lot of people don't realize that there are mice that are controlled with joysticks, where they've bypassed the I guess it's a rat. They bypass the rat's ability to control its own motions, and they control those motions in the way that they see fit. Also, synthetic life has been created, at least synthetic DNA, that continues to propagate through life as it splits, billions upon billions of times. And this DNA is completely synthetic. We have the ability to compute the human genome 100 times in a single day, if I'm remembering correctly. So we can map the human genome 100 times in a day. These types of advances, many people fear and they see as their imminent destruction. And I think that the big key to how that technology is used, and whether it is true that it's their, the destruction of mankind to have these things, is more based on the story we tell and the way in which we use technology. So if the story we tell is fearful, is of terrorism, is of the end of the world, and we're just going to bring ourselves closer to that end. We're going to be mistrusting of those around us. If the story that we tell is of oneness and community and the potential of human ingenuity and human spirit, if our story is of human compassion, if our story is of connectedness to the biosphere, if our story is that there is no one right way to live, if our story is of cultural diversity, if our story is of all of these things, these technologies will do things to reinforce that story. If our story is of death and destruction, those technologies will do the same and reinforce that story. And so I think a really important factor right now at our transition, and especially here coming up on 2012 soon, is that we get the storytellers to help shape this new story, this story of peace and ingenuity and prosperity and abundance and love and through strength through adversity and a world without borders and human family, and I think that's I guess what I'm trying to say is I just think that it's key that the storytellers, the artists, the magicians, storytelling is magic in so many ways. It's powerful in shaping matter, and what we think is what we become, and the stories we tell shape the thoughts. So let's put a call out to the storytellers, and let's turn 2012 into transition. Let's, instead of Armageddon, let's make transition the story. It's not the end of the world. It's the rebirth of the world. The new world is being born, and the new world is incredibly exciting. And the potentials to heal the earth, the potentials to co-evolve and co-create with all of the beings, all the many different beings and forms and shapes of the earth, the ability to connect information to all human beings, to share information with other beings, to help build a dynamic system that allows for the continuation of life. Co-creative partnership, as Charles Eisenstein would say, and I would suggest, Jacob, that you check out Charles Eisenstein. He's really, I think, really up your alley, and really kind of looking for the same thing that it sounds to me that you're looking for. A new way of looking at things, a rebirth, an evolution of thought, all of these things. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm still apprehensive of pain and suffering that's as possible now as it's always been. But it's not over yet. We're not dead yet. And we got a lot more to contribute before that day. So let's contribute, huh? See ya, everybody's.